All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy today to welcome Marvin Kohn. He's from AARP, our local AARP. We're going to talk about the driver safety course today, and he's going to. What I'm really looking forward to is learning about all the current information that we need to know for safe driving in our area. And this is, applies to any age, but we're gonna learn about how we can speak with our family members, our clients, and have conversations around driver safety. So thank you for being here, Marvin. Go ahead.
Let me just bring up my presentation. Can you see my presentation now?
Not
No.
yet.
Okay, then what do I have to do to get you to see?
So if you go to share screen on the bottom, there's a bottom
I've
bar
lost.
and it says
I,
share.
I okay, share.
And then click on that and it should,
There we go.
yeah, give you an option. Yep. Yep.
Come on. Okay, you got it now.
Yeah. And then, yeah, perfect. We
Good.
see it. We see it just fine.
Okay, let me give you a sense of what the program will be like. First of all, I want to give you the history and the background. Then I've elected to give you pieces of the course to give you a sense of what this course does and how it covers a whole range of the requirements for driving. So let's back up a moment and get an understanding of where we are with regard to the number of drivers on the road. And as you can see from the slide, there's a lot of us. And it's increasing day by day. To give you another perspective, think about it this way. Uh, when a 60-year-old was a driver at say 16, there were no airbags. As a matter of fact, my first car, a 1954 Ford, by the way, I'm over 90. My 54 Ford did not have seat belts, but I lived in Ohio and my family was in New Jersey. So, as a research engineer, I had no great amount of money to spend on motels driving back and forth between Columbus, Ohio, a 16-hour drive to New Jersey. So, my buddy told me that if I put seatbelts in my car, he was a race car driver. If I put a seatbelt in my car, it would keep my butt where it belonged in the seat. And I would stop slouching and I wouldn't hurt my back. So I was one of the only cars in private cars in the city of Columbus that had two seatbelts. But unfortunately, Columbus didn't have a lot of seatbelts to buy. So my blue car had one blue and one red seatbelt. And that was the old kind, the airplane kind. Well, let's go back to this next one on the DOT. Even the 70-year-old today did not have a Department of Transportation. So really, there's been a huge, huge amount of improvements changing, learning about all this business of driving. And certainly a lot has changed. And no way can we neglect the fact that the cars over the last 5 years have made significant changes, huge, huge changes. For years, they were pretty much the same. You have four on the floor or three on the tree, and They played games with different kinds of uh, automatic tra automatic transmissions. They had push buttons and the
Mm.
like. And today, well, let's put it this way. I drive a plug-in hybrid. I get 20 odd miles on a charge, and as a retired senior, that's enough for me. And I've owned this car. I bought it used. I've owned this car about not quite 2 years, and I've put gas in it 3 times. And I've driven all over the place. And let's go on with this. The roadways have changed. Things like roundabouts have been added, something unique. And we didn't have them when we first started driving. So there's all kinds of changes. And finally, one of the things we point out in the course is that we have changed. In fact, the way the course is set up, the first working unit, there's 6 units, a front and a back, and 4 working units, as I call them. And the first one is called change, and how we have changed, and how we have to consider that as part of our driving circumstance. So let's get more information about the course. The basic course is to refresh your driving skills, but we have ancillary elements to that, something called Smart Driver Tech. There, the whole idea behind it is allowing people an opportunity to learn about the changes in cars. So we have online a roughly a half hour, 3/4 of an hour seminar called AARP SD Tech, State Driver Tech, and where it goes over and explains in some cases excruciating detail of the changes in cars, what the technological improvements have made to make driving safer. And one of the interesting things is in the class, one of the videos, we have a gentleman who is in charge of the Age Lab at MIT, who has been part of this program with us, and he points out that change is constant, both in the technology and in our people and individually. And that's where we're at. We have another part of the program, which unfortunately died during the pandemic. It's something called CarFit. What CarFit is a where occupational therapists work with the driver to properly set that driver in the car, where exactly you should be sitting so that you see at least 3 inches above the steering wheel, how you have at least 10 to 11 inches between your sternum and the steering wheel, so that in the event of a crash where the airbag would be deployed, that is a safe distance to be and not be hurt. Finally, and this is, to my thinking, really very appropriate for this group, we have an online seminar called We Need to Talk, and that is about taking away the keys. The bottom line is that is not an easy task. And as a matter of fact, the last of the 4 major portions of the course deals with just that subject. So let me back up and give you what the other 3 are. The first part is change, how you've changed. And it infers how cars have changed, which is covered in greater detail in the next unit, which talks about the driving process per se. The third unit, well, it's the 4th unit actually, is the one in which you learn driving strategies. So change, the car, driving strategies, and what to do about taking away the keys. That's the sum total of the course. So to get a sense of how effective we have been, this is all done by volunteers. About the only way we get reimbursed is when we spend money. If I make copies, they'll pay me for it. And if I drive, they will give me a reimbursement for my miles. Beyond that, it's my time. And in the 16 plus years that I've been teaching it, I've taught well over 100 classes. And frankly, it's fun. And I'm always looking to get new instructors. We're sorely in need of instructors here in San Jose.
Can you say what the requirements are?
I'm sorry?
Can you say what the requirements are to be an instructor?
Very simple. Being able to get up in front of a group and talk. Because when it comes to how to do it, we have an extensive training course. And it's a digression, but let me do that. A new candidate first has an interview with our chief trainer. Once that is satisfied, then the candidate gets access to an online training course, which is quite detailed, both in how this group, the driver safety program works, and how to teach the class and what's involved in the class. When that's completed, then the instructor candidate meets with somebody like myself, one of the senior instructors, and they will teach a portion of the course as in training. And at the end of that, the instructor will point out to the candidate where the strong points are and where the weak points are. Once that has been established and the instructor is then comfortable with teaching, he or she then is certified as an instructor, and I, as the district coordinator here in San Jose area, will work with them to locate a host at which he or she will teach. So it's a pretty straightforward program, and we've been doing it for years. Any other questions? Well, let's go on then. As you pointed out, it is a volunteer-based program, and we're always looking for volunteers to help us out. And as I pointed out, there are elements of the course. It is research-based. In other words, that gentleman at MIT with his cadre of workers has designed this course, and we redo it about every 6 to 8 years. Having taught for some 16 plus years, this is the third version of the course that I'm teaching.
It's a very interesting course.
Question?
Yeah, actually, I do. I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I join? Actually, it's a very interesting course, and I would like to join it as an instructor. How do I go about doing that in New York?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Maybe my hearing aids are not working right.
You hold on 1 second.
He wants to know how to be an instructor in the state of New York.
Thank you.
In the state of New York, well, each state is different. And as a matter of fact, let me point out right here, customization. Since this course is designed for the entire country, we have to recognize that the laws in each state may be different from each other. So what is done is we get a 4-page state-specific document that is updated every 6 months that we now will include into our class. And as I go through this, I will actually show you a page that how we handle that. In fact, let's go on and we'll come back and explain as we go through it. These are all the generalities about it, but one of the key things is how to drive safely when sharing the road with other road users. That's the bottom line, because if you cannot drive safely, then we're all in trouble. So here it is. You notice the bullet. This appears on the guidebook that each participant gets. And as they go through the book, every once in a while, they run into this bullet, which says there's state-specific information, and that information is on that handout and on a slide just like this. I picked one that is totally out of the ordinary, but there is a section in the course where we talk about construction zones and how to handle it. And it points out that in California, these are the only two rules. As a matter of fact, I'm sure most of you have driven other states and recognize that, generally speaking, fines are doubled in all construction zones in all states. But in the event that there is a state where that doesn't exist, we have to have it set up so that we can show it differently. So that's one element in the course. Here's another element in the course. We have 18 videos, just like this one. And I picked this one specifically because this deals with a unique setup of concern about how your health affects driving. Would you like me to play it for you? Okay.
Sure.
So why is it important for older drivers to maintain their health, other than the obvious, that if you have your health, you have everything? The fact of the matter is that vehicle safety, road safety, is three components. It's the infrastructure, the highways that we drive on. It's the vehicle, the new technologies and the safety components of that. But at the heart is the operator. And we know that birthdays are a terrible predictor of almost anything. And in fact, we also know the science does not know what an older driver is. There is no number of law of physics or biology that says you are an older driver. But we do know that health conditions are a problem. We do know that polypharmacy, not just taking one or two meds, but when you start taking 1, 2, or 3 or 4 meds, that requires a doctor, a pharmacist, and a computer to know what the impacts are going to be, or if you're being treated for a disease. So as many of us like to say in the vehicle safety world, birthdays do not kill, but health conditions do. From as little as perhaps an allergy and type 2 diabetes to being treated for cancer to all the medications that may be in between. So being safe is about making sure that you are capable and as physically well as you can be so that you can drive as safely as possible.
Functional problems to be concerned about may include an inability to recognize potentially dangerous driving situations, an inability to react quickly enough to avoid dangerous situations, temporarily losing control of your vehicle's speed or direction, or even forgetting how to travel a familiar route. Fortunately, there are many medications available that can address issues with our health. However, they may come with their own concerns. Side effects from some medications, things like blurred vision, confusion, drowsiness, and dizziness, may gradually become more pronounced with age and can seriously affect our driving. Because our bodies tend to slow down as we become older, it takes longer for the effects of medications to wear off after having taken them.
Most often, changes occur very gradually over a period of time with age. Most conditions are chronic, and the changes that people encounter tend to be very gradual. Occasionally, there are changes that occur more abruptly, particularly if a condition gets worse or if another condition comes along that may affect other conditions that an individual has. That tends to be a bit of a double-edged sword because while those gradual change may allow you to adapt to that change over time, there also may be problems with recognizing that. You may not notice it as often as if there is a more sudden or abrupt change.
There are many things you can do to help avoid problems with the impact medications may have on driving. First, you should assume that all medications prescribed over the counter and herbal supplements are potentially dangerous. This is especially true when you're taking more than one medication. Check with your doctor or pharmacist to find out if any of the medications you are currently taking or are about to start taking could affect your driving ability. Always read the information that comes with your medication for side effects that could impact your driving. For any new medication, see how you react to it before attempting to drive. Each person's reaction to any medication is unique. Make sure you are free of any harmful side effects before driving. Otherwise, plan in advance for other ways to get around, or just don't drive until the effects of the medication have completely worn off. If you're taking more than one medication, you can easily check for harmful drug interactions on your computer or smartphone.
We live in a time where we have medications or treatments for the vast majority of conditions that help to at least manage and sometimes improve those underlying conditions. So it's really imperative, it's really important for people to take those medications that have been prescribed for those underlying conditions.
Let's review some of the medical conditions and medications information covered in this video. Be aware of your health issues. Understand the effects of your medications on driving. Understand how medications interact with each other.
Okay, you've seen that. And when the course is complete, this is what people get. There are quizzes all through the course, and frankly, because of timing, I just skip through them. And the reason I do is because I tell them that there is a page in the book where all the answers to all the quizzes are located. So why waste our time? Let's use it in the course. Well, getting back to this, it's unique. California is the only state in the union that has their own certificate for mature drivers. All the other states use a generic certificate created by AARP. And you notice it doesn't say anything about AARP except what we've printed on the bottom of the certificate. And frankly, that's given to everyone who attends the course. So there's no testing per se. But generally speaking, as you've seen in this prior slides, people take from this course some good information. And here's some of the stuff that they actually have reported back. They make few errors. They tend to become more sensitive to checking blind spots because we spend a lot of time talking about that and how to set your mirrors correctly. There's a good and a better way, and we show them the better way, the way that diminishes the blind spot to its absolute minimum. We deal with what we call a space cushion. There is two different space cushions. One is how far you are from the car in front of you, and we recommend not doing what we learned when we first learned to drive, giving one car length for every 10 miles of speed as its distance, because frankly, it's impossible to measure the car length. And frankly, today, there are so many different car sizes that again, we don't know which. So we have a different approach, and it is also listed in the driver's manual that the state provides, or used to provide. Now it's online. And that's giving county seconds, 1,001, 1,002. We recommend 4 seconds as a safe space between you and the car in front of you. If anybody jumps in, there's no problem in slowing down and regaining that space, and it gives you that extra bit of safety. And typically, at this point, more than 8 in 10 of the participants say they'll take the course again. And as it happens, once having taken the course, you can either give or show a copy of that certificate to your insurance agent, and you will get a discount on insurance for 3 years. After, now here in California, at the mandate of the state, the first time you take the course, you must take an 8-hour version of the course. Once you've taken it, for the renewal after 3 years, you can take a 4-hour course, which is basically the same material. We just talk faster and skip a few things. Now, the smart driver tech I mentioned earlier, this is dealing with all these various elements of new technology in cars. And it covers things like forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warnings. The car that I bought a couple of years ago is such that when I venture out of the lane, that car pushes me back. The steering wheel takes control. And this is pretty common today in the newer cars. Finally, how to deal with the situation of the need to give up the keys. This is a very, very sensitive topic. In fact, I taught this segment yesterday, and I have trouble going through it because, hey, I'm over 90, and I know there's some day, the day after tomorrow, when I'm going to give up the keys, and it's not something I'm looking forward to. And that's not an uncommon situation. So what AARP has done is they've created a seminar, just like the SD Tech on the new technology, but what they call We Need to Talk. And as part of the course, we actually have a video, and I've included that one as well. I'd like to play that because it gets to the heart of the business of when you give up driving and how sensitive you have to be about doing it. We refer to as conversations about driving.
It worried us when we started noticing more and more scrapes on Dad's vehicle.
Mom's near-miss crashes started to become all too common. It was frightening.
He's a good friend, and I appreciated him giving me rides to the book club, but I could tell it was dangerously difficult for him to see the road at night.
Mom's very social. The possibility of limiting her ability to see friends was hard for her to imagine.
This was a conversation we did not look forward to having.
Have you noticed a friend or family member exhibiting repeated, unsafe driving behaviors and wondered, what can I do? Sharing your concerns with them can be difficult and emotional, but it is important to have conversations before a serious incident occurs. There are 3 steps you can follow. Your first step is to engage with the driver in several conversations over a long period of time to build trust and make conversations about driving a natural experience. Start by casually mentioning news reports about a crash, inclement weather, or a change in health.
The one at the intersection by the bank? It sounded terrible.
Do not feel guilty about mentioning the topic multiple times. Focus on how you approach the conversations. Consider the meaning of driving and its significance to the driver. For some, driving may represent freedom, independence, or a way to help others. Before having conversations, make sure you have observed the driver over time. Note driving abilities they have retained, in addition to any patterns or frequencies of warning signs. Support changes the driver has already taken, like limiting night driving. Listen to the person's viewpoint and reasoning, and always show compassion and empathy. Start conversations with your concerns for the person's overall well-being, using I rather than you messages. For example, try saying, I'm concerned about your safety while driving after your surgery, rather than you're not going to be able to drive safely after your surgery. Your second step should be planning the topics you will discuss. Address warning signs you have noticed and ask the driver if they are having any concerns when driving. Ask them if they have spoken to their doctor about how a medical condition or medication may affect their driving.
Do you know if it's safe for you to drive on that new medication?
My doctor didn't mention it, but I have an appointment with her on Wednesday and I'll ask her about it.
Is there any way to get an answer before then?
If appropriate, discuss alternative transportation methods and their benefits. Your third planning step is determining who should have the conversations with the driver. If possible, pick someone in the family or community whom the driver knows and trusts.
So who's gonna do it?
I don't think it should be me. Dad got really defensive when I told him he was driving below the speed limit.
We could have the doctor talk to him. That way it wouldn't feel personal and.
No, honestly, I think it should be me. I think I should talk to your dad first. He'd take it better from me.
Also, consider getting advice from someone who has recently limited or stopped their driving and has found other ways to get around. And ask the driver to consider having a formal assessment done by an occupational therapist who is also a trained driver rehabilitation specialist.
It seemed like the conversation took the pressure off of him. He had been feeling less confident on the road, but didn't want to worry any of us.
There are so many other affordable and convenient transportation options that she was unaware of. I have helped him figure out ways to continue driving by identifying and limiting dangerous situations, like driving at night.
To review, plan to have a conversation with the driver before a serious incident occurs. Engage the driver in several conversations over a long period of time. Pre-plan the topics you will discuss. Determine who should have the conversations with the driver. If you are concerned about a loved one's driving and need additional resources to help you plan these conversations, take the free AARP We Need to Talk seminar at www.aarp.org/we need to talk.
So this is what people have said, and this is nothing more than advertisement. So let's move right on. And there are all these other challenges for mature driving, merging, intersections, high-speed roads. These are topics that we actually cover in fairly good detail. And I threw this in. This has nothing to do with our course. It's not part of our course per se, but the law changed. Drivers over 70 years of age do not have to go in and take the written exam anymore unless they're new to California or they have points on their driving record. So it's just information for you to have. If they've had accidents, 2 or more, 3 or more, DUI suspension, things like that, then they have to go in. But otherwise, they don't. Any questions? How can I add to what we've seen here?
You do have a question. Roni would like to know, and I'm probably thinking it's pretty easy just to contact the local AARP. Roni's in New York State. So, and how to become an instructor for the driving program with AARP in New York State.
One thing, you're using New York State. Can't deal with New York State. As it happens, it's unique. In fact, California.
Hey, be careful with the New York comment here.
I'm sorry?
Be careful with the New York comment here.
Hey, I'm a native New Yorker, so
I can tell. I can hear it. I'm sweating in New York right now.
In New York, you don't get the certificate directly at the end of the class. You get it from the DMV after.
Correct.
They have.
And then, but how can you volunteer?
It's $5 more in New York.
Yeah. Well, they do volunteer instructors out there as well. I mean, is it consistent with the AARP program?
We have the programs all over the country. I had some years back, I had been the state coordinator for California. And as a consequence, I met so many of these other leaders in the other states. And frankly, quite a good cadre of people.
Romy, I think you need to mute.
Oh, I
got it.
All right, so how much does the course cost?
Okay, for AARP members, it's $20. For non-members, it's 25.
Is that same for renewal?
Again?
Is that the same for the renewal class?
Yes. Yeah, there's no difference. The renewal class is the same, except we just speak faster and skip a few things.
So you'll be eligible for the insurance discount each time you do the renewal?
Yes. Yes.
So,
You can keep getting those discounts.
oh,
I've been getting them for 16 years.
that's cool. Yeah, I wasn't aware it was 3 years. I always thought it was 1 year.
No, 3 years.
Okay. Stand corrected.
So what kind of venues do we have these classes at?
Okay, typically we like to use things like senior centers. I personally have been teaching at 2 senior centers, one in Saratoga, local to me, and one in Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I've taught in Willow Glen, and various different churches have set that up. At least 2 churches and 1 synagogue. So it's right now, the city of San Jose is putting some restrictions on it. We've got to go through all sorts of MOUs and what have you. And uh, right at the moment, I don't have anybody for San Jose, but I have one instructor coming up, and I'm going to have to place that guy in a place where it'd be comfortable. If I can get through all the MOUs in San Jose, then Willow Glen would be my next stop. Why? Because I know the place. You know, it's one of these things where you do it where you're comfortable with.
Is there an online version that you can take?
Yes, there is.
interest? Okay.
And it's more expensive.
How much?
The thing that you don't get in the online version that you get in the classroom is the other participants. This last class I taught last Friday and yesterday, it was wonderful. I had 3 or 4 or 5 out of the class is all of 8, and it's very common, and I'll go into that later. But they all were talking, so we had a constant flow of communication, and that's what you really want in this course. Now, it's interesting. We here in California can never get on the list of large number of students per class because the number of participants per class is limited by DMV rules. We cannot have more than 30 participants in a single session class or more than 25 in a 2-session class. Other states don't have that rules.
What do you find if you meet that that limit? Do you do an additional class, or how do you handle the overflow?
Well, so far it's never been that big. In fact, in my case, I'm space limited in Saratoga. I can only get 16 in that room. And Campbell, I do have a bigger space, and I still have not filled it. The most I've ever had in a class is about 20. And frankly, that's almost too big for the comfort level of the instructor and the participants. About 10 to 15 is just good because you have enough interplay, and you want to get people to explain what situations they've been in. Real circumstance helps communicate the need to be safe and to be aware. And bottom line is that's what we're preaching, awareness and safety.
Is the 8-hour course, I guess, all one day?
Typically, the renewal class is 4 hours. That's one day. The new class is 8 hours, and I cannot teach 8 hours. I know of only one person that ever taught an 8 hours in one class, one day. So in my case, I like to do it over a weekend. I have the first class on Friday and the follow-up on Monday because I give them homework. The homework is setting your mirrors the way we recommend and trying it for the weekend. because some people find it uncomfortable. But at least that gives me an opportunity to have them try it and come back and tell others what they felt.
I know that both AAA and California Highway Patrol offer the courses too. I think those are in-car courses. They actually drive. Is that the case?
No, the state has a short course, and legally they cannot give the certificate because you must, that certificate, I don't know if you noticed, but across the top it has renewal or initial, and underneath each of those indicates how many minutes you must be in the class. And for renewal, it's 240 minutes. That's 4 hours,
4 hours.
right?
Mhm. Yep.
But when the class I require set up and have them fill out the certificate, all the sort of stuff, it's about 15 minutes worth of startup. So when I schedule that class, I'm honest. I say that class is scheduled for 4.5 hours because there's only 4 hours of education and roughly 30 minutes or thereabouts for setup. In the 8-hour course, it's a lot easier. And I've forgotten, it's about 400 and odd minutes that they require. And it's written on right on the certificate.
But what I'm asking though, is there any course that offers an in-car driving experience along with the course itself?
This is not for the mature driver improvement program.
Okay.
There are other programs of that nature, but this is not that specific mature driver improvement.
What's the age of mature driver then?
I'm sorry?
What is the age for the mature
50.
driver? 50. Okay.
55.
55. Oh, it's going up.
Yeah.
Another minute.
Anyone can take the course, but only people 55 and over can get the certificate.
Ah.
Anything else? Well, thank you all. I appreciate your time.
So I have a little anecdotal question. Well, it's not really a question, but recently I've had a client who she took her car in to get serviced, and the dealership gave her a loaner car, and it was a car that she was completely unfamiliar with driving. It was an different shape and different systems, and subsequently, and she even told me, she said, I can't drive that car. It's completely outside of my scope. And they said, well, it's the only one we got, blah, blah, blah. So she took it, and then she subsequently she wrecked it because she couldn't drive the car, and she told them that. And now she's on a complete decline. So situations like that, having conversations around situations like that is just for awareness. You had mentioned awareness earlier, and that's what came to my mind.
Yeah, if I were in her shoes, I would have insisted, or I would use Uber. But driving in a car that you're not familiar with, as it happens, my car is different from what I'm used to. And my wife gets into it. She says, I can't drive it. The shift position and everything else is different. And I can understand that. I'm more flexible than she. So it made no big deal. But from a safety point of view, she should have said no. And by all means, you let whoever you're dealing with know that they've got to be in charge. When it comes to driving, if you cannot handle that vehicle, don't get into it.
Well, the new cars that are being sold now with all their sophisticated computer and technology and so forth, the dealers will actually offer them a course to sit in the car and learn it and go through the manual so that they have that information, because these things are really, they're complex. It's almost like the space shuttle. So you have to know and understand the systems in order to efficiently work the car.
Well, Skip, one thing you've left out is the fact that many cars now no longer come with the manual. It's online.
Yes, yes.
And some people have an aversion to reading the online copy. I know this car that I got a year and a half ago has an online version, because the hard copy, which was in the glove box, it was probably printed in about 2.5 point type. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky. I'm an engineer. I'm comfortable with new technology. Other people are not. The
Yeah.
nice part about it is most of those, if not all, can be shut off. And I know when I got this used car, at least one of the features had been shut off by the prior owner. And frankly, I like to have them. I get a little sloppy, so I want somebody to take care of me.
Well, I'm going to see what I can do to help get you some instructors. I belong to a Corvette club, and I think that would probably be a target-rich environment to get people to help. So I'll make
You
some.
know, if we can help, let us know. We'll be more than glad to provide
Okay.
assistance.
Does anybody have any other questions or comments? Jessica?
Well, I'm dealing with this right now with
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
and we're just begging him to get a smart car, you know. And there's such a fear of not having the ability to, there's such independence, especially for men, especially for that generation. I mean, there's so much independence that comes with vehicles, and it's not the other drivers. I mean, by the way, I think Roni's on the phone call. Like, I'm in Long Island. They drive like nothing about New York, but maniacs. Everybody's really rushing fast to go nowhere. Trust.
Agreed.
And and I and I'm and it's so scary. It's just so scary. There's a lot of like aggressive, and there's road rage, and um but it's it's scary. And I think that you're gonna have, this is an ongoing issue. This has been an issue, and people are aging longer. But I think that there needs to be where you have a breathalyzer in a car, um that we should have some kind of guidelines around certain, without being discriminating, but there should be some guardrails, just like a young driver should have these guardrails, because that's dangerous, because they might have the motor skills, but they don't have the experience. And then an older driver might have experience, but they don't have the motor skills. So we need to start really looking at this, like the type of people that are getting behind wheels, to protect themselves and protect the other people on the road. So it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a question that came online. You take the course, you get this discount for 3 years. Somebody posted a question, and I think that the answer there.
Is that a discount from your insurance?
Yes.
Right?
Now the problem is we don't stipulate, or the state does not stipulate how much and what portion of the insurance it comes from. But it does require that a discount be given.
So you can take this course, but you have to find a course instructor to take it. I'm wondering if anybody doesn't want to take the course because they're afraid that they would lose their license, because they would no.
No, there's nothing related to the license per se.
Okay.
The nice part about this is totally separate. And there's no driving test. All we're trying to do, when we really get rid of all the minutia that is related to the course, we're trying to remind the senior drivers of what they've learned in the past and have forgotten or
Mhm.
have cast aside because they don't need it. So that's it.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. And I'm sorry because I was in and out. So we don't have course instructors in New York, or we're looking for more course instructors in New York, or New York's
Yeah,
just a different animal.
there's a identical course all over the country.
Ronnie
Okay.
was
The
Ronnie.
difference is the state-specific information. And of course, in New York, it's $5 more.
Oh, okay.
They have New York State has a different arrangement where they have their own forms and the certificates are issued by the state. And I think there are still AARP certificates that the participants fills out, but they go to the state and the state then sends them out.
Are you can you put it in the chat again? Could you put the link in the chat?
I'm sorry?
The link in the chat, is
Yeah.
it or just go to AARP?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
it's probably on the AARP website, and then here's his information.
Okay.
And then because even within each state and each AARP, are probably specific to regions. Yeah.
When's
So
the next course going to be here?
You can find a course real simply by going to aarp.org/find a course.
Okay.
It's really easy to remember. And what that does, it brings up a screen where you put in your zip code, and it'll list the courses that are scheduled chronologically. So if you're looking for a certain space, a certain location, you may have to scroll down through these to find the one that closest to you. And even though we're divided to districts and this zone we're in zone 4, 6 counties, it'll cover virtually all the 6 counties from San Francisco down to
Monterey?
No, Marin's not in it. San Francisco South. So San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, Santa Cruz, San Benito, and come on, Monterey. Yeah, those are the 6.
do you know if you are AARP or somewhere in your organization, you collect the data on drivers' improvements because they've engaged in the program, or just feedback?
I don't know of how they collect that information.
Yeah.
I've never been privy to that.
I mean, it would be good to know.
Yeah.
It's because we would be having conversations with just people, right? And sometimes somebody would go, yeah, whatever, and then you want to say, well, data shows that there's significant amount of improvement when having engaged in this kind of a education.
I would think, Jules, I would think that like bringing this to some assisted living communities, because so many people would be lined up for it if they could get a discount on insurance, and there's no threat to them losing their license, and it would reinforce it. I think more men would show up than women, but I just do think that you would get a crowd. And that they would all do it at the same time. Maybe they would register it separately, but I could just see this like 6 o'clock tonight, and the rec room, or doing they're doing the course. Yeah.
And of course, because I'm asking that question as well, because Jessica, we're thinking on the same lines. We can use this now. It's already in an educational opportunity, and then we can pick that baton up and take it into the communities that we serve.
I actually, Jules, I think not to bulldoze another meeting, but I think I invited you to my Facebook group page. So I'm creating a local Grace Book and sharing information like this, just to kind of create awareness for others and become a source of information. Where, there's never enough.
So Marvin, do you yourself engage with independent senior living communities in your area? I mean, there's a few significant ones, right, in your neighborhood.
Where are you located?
He's in Saratoga.
Saratoga,
California, right here by us.
There's a Saratoga, New York.
I know, right? No, not that one. No, this one.
Saratoga,
Go ahead,
Florida,
Marvin.
too.
Yeah,
there is.
I have taught on a regular basis 2 classes a year at the Saratoga Retirement Community. Had a good relationship with them and sort of petered out the last couple of years. But and I know that people have also taught at, I think it's a Terraces, also yoga.
Yeah.
And Los Gatos.
Los Gatos.
Yeah. Roni, I saw that you're interested in becoming an instructor. So if you really wish to do so, just give me a call and we'll set up how to handle that. And Julie has my email address so that you can get it from her.
Perfect.
Okay?
I will do that.
Yeah, it's right there on the bulletin, Roni.
Okay.
It's right there. So yeah.
Well, I'll call him later today. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
Thank you all. I appreciate the time that you spent.
Well, thank
you. Well, thank you so much. We learned a lot, and this is going to give us a lot of ideas. And then I hope we can keep you as a resource moving forward. We do go out and talk. We talk to families, but we also talk to senior living communities as a whole. So that gives us it gives me a lot of ideas anyway.
Good.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
We'll stay on for a few minutes. You're welcome to leave, Marvin, and then we'll finish up our meeting. Thank you. Or you can hang out with us.
Thanks, Marvin.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I have so many ideas, especially on community outreach. I mean, this is just even if we don't do an actual curriculum, we can always point to, well, AARP has this available. That could be in part of any of our community outreach conversations with families or communities. So next week we're having joey.com. It's with joey.com. This is a new concept. It's and they're local and they're startup. They're from the Marin area, North Bay. They created a platform to where they match households with roommate situations that are either household helpers or caregivers in exchange for living accommodations. Now, that's just a high-level description. We're going to learn all about it more next week. There's actually a couple of these organizations popping up. I'm in conversation with another platform now. In fact, they're doing a webinar tomorrow. So after I do that, I'll be able to bring that information to the group. So then I wanted to talk about, I added a new page to the bulletin, and I'm going to be doing this regularly, the members spotlight. So we're going to have I'm making actually all of us that are here and participating and that are in our email group on our list. So everybody has information and a little bit of a description of who we all are. Eventually, I'm going to take all of that information and create a resource, probably a page on the website, but also I'm going to create some, probably a consumer facing landing page for these resources. So I just wanted to point that out. And Thursday, we're going out for a tour again for 55 and over gated resort new construction homes for sale. We're going out to Lathrop and Tracy, which is in the valley, just East Bay. It's an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes from San Jose. So we're doing that on Thursday. And last week we had a really great meeting for CSA Northern California Leadership, which was held at the Channing House in Palo Alto, which is a life plan community, a CCRC, and it's one of the older ones, the original ones. Channing House was built in 1961. Their skilled nursing department was built, it's pretty new, from what I understand. That was built 5-10 years ago. But they are building a new community a couple blocks away called Eris. There will be 10 units available, and they will be a life plan community, and there's different prices for different buy-ins and different programs, and it's different sizes, and it's gonna be gorgeous. So that was fun to learn about. Does anybody have anything they want to share or any questions?
I did. Mrs. Micklin. Yeah.
Yes, my dear.
Essentials of Real Estate is going to be Saturday, 10 to 12 online. And I'm asking everybody who wants to attend to register. Because even if things come up, and a lot of times they do, if you are at least registered, you'll get the recording. And Elva is myself talking about the real estate part of it. Elva's talking about the mortgage part of it. And then our past guest, Chris Miller, is bringing it all together as the advocate legacy strategist going into wills, trust, estate planning, insurance, and so forth. So yeah, it's after we did our little preview, we said this is a lot of information for 2 hours even, and leaving enough time for Q&A. And I'm raffling off a book too. So I'm gonna shorten my piece, but because most of the people I'm inviting, they know me. So I've invited some of the folk here on this line. But anybody's welcome to come. You just have to register. And since you mentioned that flyer that you're doing or that newsletter that you're doing, I'd love to have you put those in. Chris has consented to work with me one class a month, one webinar or seminar a month.
Nice.
No way we could get all this information in 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're going to refine it a little bit. This would be more of an overview in terms of what people should know in this market, especially the underserved community. That's my as well as the seniors. So, like I said, anybody's welcome to come. But later on, I'm thinking maybe the first part of August, then we'll gear down based upon what they want to hear. I'm bringing it in from what I have experienced in the past. If I have 10 clients, 5 are doing well, 5 are in crisis. And we don't want people to go in crisis. One of the books that I am going to be promoting, and I just ordered it again, and that is Tom Proch's book. And I've mentioned it several times here. That's when I first got my SRES. It's The Other Talk by Tom Proch, and it's excellent, and it's really geared.
Can you repeat that name, please? Who?
Tom Proch, Proesch. I may not be pronouncing his name right. I mentioned it just because he had a video presentation that he did going back to 2014. That's how far back it was. But I talk about the book all the time, and I still have people asking me about it because they want guidelines on how they can talk to their adult children of how they want their rights and to be respected in their later years. And the best time to do it is now. while you still have capacity and can make decisions on your own. So I'm
Mhm.
about that book, and I certainly promote it. There's others too. Take My Hand Again. And I was just going over these. There was Take My Hand Again. That was a social worker that gave me that one. And The Fragile Years. And
Yeah.
Amy O'Rourke, you probably mentioned her before.
Yeah, Amy. Yeah.
For aging
Mhm.
loved ones. So
Mhm.
this can't be, I want to do it as a series ongoing because I've curated this series back to school for seniors and their adult children. So I want it to be ongoing. And I have a great marketer, so he's doing my YouTube videos, so they will be posted on YouTube as well. And we're going to take shorts from that.
Cool.
Awesome, Michelin.
Love to have you, Avery.
Yes. There's Avery. Hi, Avery. Go ahead.
Micklin, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name of the book. This sounds very interesting.
One. Tom Prost's book?
The
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
talk.
The Other Talk. And he was
Oh, okay, right.
The other talk.
Yeah, and it's geared towards the adult children. So they should know this stuff. The parents too, but certainly the adult children.
That one's been around for quite a while. It's kind of like the standard in the
Yeah.
industry for having this other talk, and it's used quite widely throughout uh, the estate planning industry.
Yes. Is he, I don't know if he's still alive or still around or what, but it's
You
a
can Google it.
okay.
Google is your friend.
That's right. I didn't think about that. Thanks. Yeah. But yes, he would be wonderful to get on this line.
If he's still alive. Might be hard to do if he's dead. Kind of a seance, maybe. I don't know.
But the book is well worth the read.
Yeah.
And it's
Michelin, so you're doing it webinar style?
Well, I'm going to do the intro. And like I say, I'm not going to use up a lot of the time because if you think about it, if I'm having a raffle Q&A, that's going to take a little bit of time, giving people about 5 minutes to get settled in. So those are minuses. So that 120 minutes is going to be narrowed down to maybe 95 minutes. And both of them have good stuff to say. And certainly in this economy, these people should know about how to leverage what they have. We talked about that and what loan products, a lot of misconceptions about reverse mortgages.
Mhm.
Oh, those evil reverse mortgages.
Oh yeah, she could do the whole thing just on that alone.
Hey.
Yeah. So
Hey.
Elva will just do an overview and talk about other products and certainly have questions. I already have questions myself. One of the things I talked to Chris about was a TOD. I had a client who felt that she could save money by doing a TOD because she was advised by an attorney because she wanted to save money. And she had nothing but bad stuff to say about it. She said the only way that would be good if you're in your deathbed and you have to do something quick, fast, and in a hurry. But otherwise, she has no idea if these people who she has appointed on transfer of death, will they be alive? Will they be of good health and capacity? She has no idea. So the fact that she wants to save money, she's actually causing more issues because that's like, go ahead, I'm
Wouldn't
sorry.
that be a estate planning attorney type question?
It is. Well, you mean a TOD?
Yeah.
A estate attorney is the one that told her, because I know this lady and she wants to save money and stuff like that. That's
Oh,
no,
they told. Oh.
no way to save money because you're causing more. Because it's like, I know I'm going to die first, and I know these people are going to be alive, and I know they're going to be of good capacity. I know they're going to carry out my wishes. How do you know that?
Yeah.
It would be titled, if you look in the county record and you see how it's titled, in a trust, but hers is transfer up on death. And I do believe, how does she know? I don't even know the people that she's assigned to be her executors, but it just leaves too much unknowns. So she's going to go into that because, I gave her a lot of information based upon things that I've talked to my community about and some of the misconceptions and the lack of training, education, etc., that they need to be aware of. And it doesn't have to come from me. I'm pulling her in because that's just what she does. And something she loves, that LMA, I forgot now what she called it. It's the a step above the paralegal, but it's not the
Oh,
attorney.
yeah.
Yeah. As she said,
Licensed document preparer.
yes, it's something.
So, yeah.
And she
Yeah,
says,
no, she's plenty. Yeah, Chris is plenty experienced for that. Yeah.
yes.
Avery, did you have another question or comment?
No, it was just interesting, Micklin, you bring up the transfer on death deed. And I've heard something like even in the fiduciary circles, that it seems like, that there are a lot of estate planning attorneys, right? But there's the Assembly Bill 2016, the $750,000 primary residence outside of probate transfer. And so that is something there's a lot of confusion about right now too, because some attorneys are advising their clients, don't worry about a trust, just don't, you'll just do that like years from now. And so yeah, I just thought it was interesting that you mentioned the transfer on death deed, that I've heard something similar with the $750,000 outside of probate transfer, that even just because they are practicing estate planning attorneys, it's always good to get that second opinion and just education from another estate planning attorney.
They are
When it doesn't sound right. Yeah, you're right to point out that doesn't sound right to just do the transfer on death deed. I just thought that was interesting.
Too many unknowns. There's too many unknowns. And you think
Run, guys. I'll see you next week.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. And you're taking off at 9 o'clock on Thursday, Julie.
Yeah. So, do you want to come on Thursday?
The two people that I had coming, both of them are backed out, and I got so much stuff to do. I'm not sure, but if I finish all my stuff, I will be there.
Let's get all our work done today.
You got it. I got plenty.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question. Hey, Clay, I messaged you in the message section. I tried emailing you and your emails bounced back for me. I don't know what happened.
That's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
No.
And I took it off your business card and I tried on multiple of my accounts. It was really weird.
Okay.
It wouldn't go through.
All right. Let's see. Chat. Okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't monitoring chat.
That's all right. All right.
Good to know.
Okay. So that was Kim. I'm sorry. You just want to wait. Just stop talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Directly before everybody hangs up.
Yeah.
Okay. Message. Well, I'll do it to everybody.
Okay.
I haven't heard that I've had trouble with email.
Yeah, I thought it was just like for a day thing, but then I tried the next day and
it bounces back.
It didn't like me for some reason. Yeah.
Sometimes the internet just does things.
I know.
We can't figure it out.
Flyer that you sent out, is that for both communities?
The flyer?
Yeah, you sent out a flyer. I can't
remember. Yeah, so both communities that we're visiting are on the flyer.
Okay.
On the invitation. So it's Del Webb, River Islands in Lathrop, and Regency Tracy Lakes in Tracy. And I'm finalizing all the details and all the everything, and I'll keep everybody posted. I should have everything, all hardened up by tomorrow for sure. And then I'm sorry.
And Juliana, I'll be joining you there because obviously it's
yeah.
So if you let me know whatever schedule, I'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. Because we do have several participants that are traveling there on their own as well. So,
well, if anybody wants to carpool from the East Bay,
huh?
Yeah, I'd be
That's a
happy
good
to help with
idea.
that.
That's a good idea. Okay, thanks, Clay.
Are you planning for the walkathon for Alzheimer's and PD? When's it?
What is that?
November. Alzheimer's, the walk for Alzheimer's, the walk for PD. I think PD is October or August. One's in August and one's in October, I believe. The walkathon. Nicole Mello was the captain for this group last year.
Oh, you mean here at Lake Kenningham Park in San Jose?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Well, that's later on.
it's coming up.
They're going to have a big fireworks show at Lake Cunningham Park for 4th of July.
Oh.
We have to get through that. All right, everybody. Marcia, want to say hi to everybody? Are you there? Because I put you in the spotlight. Hello. I'm just pointing that out because Marcia is bi-coastal, basically. She's here some of the time in California and there some of the time in Georgia. So we are getting to be quite the eclectic group here. All right, everybody. I will see everybody on the computer, and we'll see everybody next week.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
If not,
Okay,
on
bye.
Thank you.